Hey there guys, let's get straight into it. I've got the best 2 VPNs for port forwarding if that's what you're looking for. If you are not familiar, port forwarding is how the internet can essentially find your device on purpose. Without port forwarding, your router blocks incoming connections by default. So if you want to host something, people need a door to reach it. Port forwarding opens that door. It's also useful when you want to be reachable, not just browse. Typically, this is very helpful for gaming, for remote access, and some peer-to-peer apps just work better when your device can accept incoming connections through port forwarding, especially for torrenting. For example, if you allow port forwarding when torrenting, it can typically result in just much better connections. So let me just give you a quick example specifically with torrenting. So I like to use Proton VPN. Again, you can use private internet access or PIA, but I personally prefer Proton VPN, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So essentially, I'm just going to turn on port forwarding. Once it's on, I can go ahead and copy that port number. So for example, I like to use, when it comes to torrenting, I like to use Qubit torrent. It's just what I'm used to. So for example, if I want to optimize my torrenting experience, I would just go to options right here. I'll go to connections. You'll notice that there is the port number right here. So I'll just grab it from Proton VPN. It makes it very accessible, as you can tell. And I will just paste it right here and hit apply. And when I'm downloading any torrent, it's just going to be a smoother, faster experience. And of course, you never really want to not use a VPN when you're torrenting, because if you didn't know, anybody that is downloading the same torrent that you're downloading is going to be able to see your location, your IP address, and your port, and a bunch of information. So you definitely don't want to expose that. And that's why it's very much recommended to use a VPN when you're torrenting. Now, the other reason I like to use Proton VPN specifically is because I honestly use it for gaming. So if you go to the settings and you go to advanced settings, you'll notice that, okay, when I have port forwarding on, I have to use the strict NAT type. But whenever I'm gaming, a lot of you gamers are going to really appreciate this, is you can switch your strict type 3 NAT type to the moderate type 2 NAT type. And this is perfect for gaming. So what I would usually do is just switch it to moderate, and you want to make sure obviously that you're using the VPN server that is closest to the game server that is closest to you. Let me know if that doesn't make sense in the comments below. But for example, if I am, let's say, near France, and I know that the French server is the closest game server to me. So what I will do is connect to the French server, because I know that the game server I'm going to connect to is going to be the French gaming server. So I'll just apply it here, and I'll connect to, let's just go to some of the recents. I'll connect to France, for example. And again, I'm just going to make sure here that my NAT type is moderate, which is type 2. I'll go to Steam. Let me just launch my Steam real quick, and I'll go to settings. I'll go to download, make sure it's also the same region, so France, and I would just launch my game. Now, the main game that I personally play is Tekken. So whenever I want to play Tekken, I just find a really hard time finding matches. And I think it's because of my NAT type and my ISP not really giving me the best of packages. So what I do is just connect to Proton VPN, make sure that the type 2 NAT type is on. I make sure that the Steam download region is the same, and then I hit play, and I'm just getting games for days. So that's basically what I do. Okay, so that's essentially how you do it. With private internet access, it's very easy. You just click request port forwarding, and once you connect to the VPN itself, it'll also show you the port that you're connected to, similar to what you see here with Proton VPN. As soon as you turn on port forwarding and you hover over the port forwarding option, it'll just show you the port, and you can copy it in case you needed that. So that's basically it. Using port forwarding with a VPN definitely gives you the benefit of inbound access without exposing your home IP, which is going to be increasingly necessary as more and more of our privacy keeps getting compromised by different types of legislation and governments requesting digital ID. For example, in the UK, I know Discord recently has made it mandatory to provide your ID. I think it'll take effect soon, and that's not such a good thing. So that is basically it. If you're looking for VPNs with great port forwarding capabilities, these are the two that I would recommend. You can go with PIA if you want just a cheaper overall VPN, but I wouldn't really recommend it if you're interested in getting other benefits like benefits for gaming, and especially if you want a VPN that's really good for streaming and torrenting, just go with Proton. Proton has been just my go-to VPN for basically almost everything, really. The other go-to VPN would be ExpressVPN, but it doesn't really support port forwarding unless you install it on your router, and the ports don't really travel through the VPN tunnel, so I wouldn't really recommend it for port forwarding. So that's why these are the only two that I would recommend as of now for port forwarding. If you're interested in any of them, I'll make sure to drop the links in the description down below if you want to learn a little bit more about them, or if you just want to go ahead and pick those up, I'll be sure to drop a link in the description down below that will drop the price even more, and it's definitely going to be cheaper than having to go to the website without any special link or discount link. So that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.